Hey, welcome to the Weed Out, where we weed out the bullshit and talk about the nonsense happening in our backyard. I'm Spencer Fox Peterson, as always, your faithful host, and we weed out the bullshit. So thanks for tuning in. Recording this on Monday, February 17th, 2025. We are in the midst of some chaos. The fascists have taken over. They have the government, and they're doing what they do. And the opposition, to quote Leader Jeffries of the Democratic Party, says, "Where is our leverage? What is our leverage?" And as always, the Democrats' routine of good cop, bad cop. The Republicans, when they're in the minority, they can do stuff. When the Democrats are minority, they can't. Don't know why. I can guess why. But already seeing some alarming stuff trickle down to the local level. And I also just want to highlight some other stuff. It's Monday, February 17th. We've had some crazy weather, a lot of snow, a lot of ice, and the roads are pretty impassable today. And that's what, listen, crazy storms happen. Mother Nature does. But, with what's going on, all these DOGE cuts, though not seemingly connected to the bad weather, it's not, I don't have a direct correlation, but I want to point out our priorities. And, the fact that people still have to go out in this weather because we don't have systems in place to make sure people can just chill for a couple days until the weather gets better, like this go of individualism, capitalism, whatever you want to call it. It's really backwards thinking sometimes. It's super inefficient, in my opinion. Sometimes it's better to just do nothing and wait until the snow melts. Like, but we can't do that because everybody's living on the edge, need to go to work, need to pay their bills, and there is no safety net. And with DOGE and Trump and these right-wing ideologues, these technocrats, they want to privatize everything, destroy everything that we have. It's not great, but you know what? They're not cutting fucking police. They never cut police. These cop cities are popping up all over the country, the most famous ones in Atlanta, but there's 80 sites that have been proposed or started building since 2020. So the unrest of the pandemic, George Floyd uprisings, and just the coming climate crisis. The solution is always going to be policing in prisons. For example, I'm going to pull up an article. Core Civic, they're a private prison company, and let's just say they're really excited about what's coming up. So they're a private prison. I'm pulling up an article from ABC News here. Excuse me. And basically, it says this is an exciting time. It's an exciting time. Why would that be? Well, Trump is talking about criminalizing, immigrants, et cetera, et cetera. So this article pulled up here. Executives at a private prison firm, Core Civic, expect significant growth due to Trump policies. Now, Core Civic, to my knowledge, does not operate in Massachusetts, right? But, we've had a lot of issues in our Massachusetts jails, and I wouldn't be shocked as them down the line, because that has been what austerity policies have gotten us to this point. I think all prisons should be abolished. So, I'm really operating on a different argument, but a lot of these neoliberals will push for companies like this because it's more cost effective when it really isn't. They have minimum bed requirements. So basically, you got to keep the beds filled, rounding up poor people, immigrants, anybody who's deemed a criminal or undesirable. So, according to ABC News, they anticipate the Trump administration new immigration policy will lead to, quote, the most significant growth in the company's history over the next several years. I've worked at Core Civic for 32 years, and this is truly one of the most exciting periods of my career, CEO Damon Hinniger said on Tuesday on the company's earnings call. We anticipate significant growth opportunities, probably the most significant growth in our company's history over the next several years. Now, like I said, there's not, to my knowledge, a Core Civic prison in Massachusetts. I believe we don't have private prisons here, but the growth of private prisons over the years has just been growing, and wouldn't be shocked if, more tent cities or concentration camps pop up and being managed by these companies. It's quite evil. Hinninger told the CEO told shareholders the company is taking proactive steps to prepare facilities and beds in anticipation for the new potential ICE contracts with ICE, immigrant customs enforcement, whatever, Nazis. So what does this have to do with Massachusetts? Nothing directly, but the gears of private industry and these fascistic police forces are moving. And listen, they're years ahead of us. We're just playing catch up. What I'm concerned about is there's a reporter out of LA, formerly incarcerated person who covers prisons and the sheriffs in LA. She just came out with a report. I'm going to play the report on her TikTok, but she's pretty prolific. Her name's Carrie, and she covers prisons and the sheriffs in LA. She uncovered a lot of the, she's not the only one. There's plenty of people working on this, but she's one of the more prominent people on the social media. So let me play this clip for you once I can. I'm not so quick at the switching screen share, so bear here. And so Carrie shared this report. I'll let it speak for itself.
So last week, abruptly, several top federal prison officials announced that they are suddenly retiring in the next few weeks. This includes the acting director that took over after the Trump administration fired the existing federal prisons director. There was no reason given, and the Federal Bureau of Prisons did not respond to my request for comment, but this is a copy of the email that was sent internally to prison staff. It was not formally announced publicly, but it was leaked to me and several other reporters. As you can see, this includes the acting director, the general counsel, the chief information officer, 2 regional directors, and an assistant director. It is kind of wild when you're seeing this mass exodus of prosecutors resigning, and now we're seeing a bunch of federal prison officials resigning. I think it's pretty deeply concerning as to what the administration could be doing that is so offensive that it is actually driving prison officials to quit, or abruptly retire.
Fucking people who have been caging human beings for a career bailing with this new Trump administration, which only means the worst kind of people are going to get replacing them. And I do think the privatization will be ramped up even more with all this kind of brain drain. It's like we should be like, yay. So like defunding and destabilizing these institutions was something I want, but not like this. No. When fascists do it, it's never good, man. It's never good. They're going to privatize everything. Wouldn't shock me if Elon comes up with some Tesla human cage where he can suck our fucking life force from us and fuel his vehicles or some shit. I don't know. That's a little fucking harebrained. But I just want to say, like, this privatization is scary, and we have people in Massachusetts who are fighting for people incarcerating these people inside, fighting as well. And there's been so many awful things in the last year in Massachusetts. Sheriff Kochi out here in Western Mass, the man was hammered drunk, drove in Springfield on 3 tires, didn't have the 4th one in a car. I don't even know if it was his car, and it doesn't matter. He basically walked. And this is the man that's in charge of jails. People have their lives ruined for far less. This man put people in danger, and I'm not saying he should be locked up, because I don't think anybody should be locked up, but goddamn, dude. And then there's been fires, there's been floods in these prisons, and these guys have lost all their belongings. And a new pair of boots at these commissaries cost markedly more than they would cost out in the real world. Make pennies on the dollar. So like these this is in liberal Massachusetts, mind you, and the privatization thing scares me because there's less of a chance we'll hear about these things that happen, and there's less of a chance we'll be able to be behind private corporations, which aren't the same as the government as far as sunlight and transparency goes. And it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. It makes me really angry, and it should make you angry. Now, this is also brings me back to my point about the weather. So the weather's been really shitty, right? And I see this article. So while we're defunding schools and destroying institutions that, I could be argued haven't been perfect, and I gladly have those conversations, but like we're dismantling things with reckless abandon without looking what's going to be the trickle down effects. And that's kind of the point. They want to stress out the oligarchy, the leaders, the whatever you want to call them. The 1%, we are the 99%. There's been a million ways to describe it over the years, but it doesn't seem to click. So even with all this stuff happening, no matter what happens, local or any sort of media entity will fucking bootlick, dude. Look at this article. I just pulled it up. Mass Live. Mass state police respond to over 400 car crashes this weekend during the weekend storm. And it's like, the state police actually used caution after Saturday night storm. And like we assisted with 414 crashes and 321 car assists. I don't know if you guys have seen police cars, especially Massachusetts state troopers. They have these souped up Ford Explorer SUV things, tanks. They have literal utility in helping people on the side of the road. These cops are not trained in any sort of mechanic, and I'm pretty sure they're not really allowed to do anything by like insurance reasons. You know what I mean? Like they can't just be like, "Oh, I'll help you fucking change your battery," because what if something happens? There's liabilities and all sorts of stuff. So I don't even think they're allowed to, even if they knew how. But they're not trained to do any of this stuff. Why the fuck can't we, as a community, as a society, just stop giving these guys with guns? Let's give the tools to the DOT. Give it to somebody else that can actually help people. Right? This fucking shit drives me nuts. Oh, we helped 400. How did you help 400 car crashes? You just responded. You're a human traffic cone. There's literally no fucking need for this. It's a waste of time and money. And it drives me fucking bananas. And they think it's something cool, right? And then meanwhile, while all this Trump DOGE shit is happening, all we have from our opposition party is, quote, Chuck Schumer saying in a press release over Trump's first executive orders about federal aid freeze, Republicans are quite literally defunding the police. Bro, what about the schools? What about literally everything else? All they care about is the fucking police, because we're also fucking brainwashed. In like these articles by Mass Live where they bring up these cars, they didn't do anything. They're human traffic cones who make over $100,000 a year minimum each. It's fucking useless. They don't have chains in their trucks. They can't pull people out of ditches. I don't even think they're fucking allowed to, like I said, with the liability stuff. So like, why can't we, even if you have to get stuff, like why can't we as a community share these resources? This is fucking bananas. AAA ain't cheap, dude. And then oh God, it drives me insane. We could actually share these costs, or we could build public transportation, or we could put less emphasis on people needing to go out in the world, because God forbid the economy fucking slow down for a day. All right. And that's the thing. They want to farm us. They want to fucking literally just squeeze every little drop out of us. And it's totally inefficient. Totally inefficient. And it's a fucking nightmare. It's a nightmare. And meanwhile, I go out into Holyoke today and I'm reading all over on, I'm getting screenshots from Facebook, because I'm on Facebook, but I'm getting screenshots from people like Joanna and other people that are on Facebook from their towns. It's like none of these roads are cleared or safe, but we're all expected to get out there and do what we have to do to keep this precious economy rolling. Meanwhile, the only articles we're getting is about how the police, quote unquote, helped. They responded. Okay, cool. You did your fucking job. How much OT did this cost us? Why the fuck can't we just have tow trucks and guys with fucking wenches out there helping people? We do not need men with guns. There's not that much crime. It's a fucking fabrication. Crime has gone down. Crime, quote unquote, crime has gone down significantly. The more and more police funding doesn't change shit. All right. Fucking surveillance state. We literally, all this stuff is so bad, and it doesn't help people. And it drives me up the fucking wall. And I hope it drives the wall, whoever's listening, and if you're listening, hate listening, which, according to my statistics, it seems like there's some hate listeners. So welcome, I guess. But regardless of everybody else there, like we can do better. We can absolutely do better. Massachusetts in the next year, we have local elections. Holyoke is up for a new government, at least mayor. I can't remember what the schedule on the councils are. I believe it's another, they're on the same cycle as the mayor, I'm pretty sure. So, and we have local, state level coming up soon too. There's plenty of organizations that are contacting, the representatives and trying to go through the proper channels, quote unquote, things like no cost calls, right? And they're still fighting to make sure this policy falls through and stays, because it's not, there's never a fucking victory of this stuff. It never fucking stops. So if you want to help, always feel free to reach out to us at The Weed Out. You can reach out to us at theweedout.com, at gmail.com, theweedout@gmail.com, or you can always find us on social media at The Weed Out or The Weed Out 413 on Instagram. So, and TikTok. And we check our DMs. So if you have any questions or would like to help, or you have something to offer, maybe we can help you find a group of people that are working in that direction or could use your help. So please always feel free to reach out to us. We're a hub. We try to be a hub for the community, for Western Mass, for the Berkshires, Holyoke, and beyond. But the reality is, the state isn't coming to save us. These oligarchs are trying to dismantle things and push things towards privatization. Specifically, Elon Musk. He's the lightning rod. He's the one we see. How many billionaires exist that we don't know? There's probably like 1,700, 1,800 or something in the world. But like, how many Harlan Crows did we never heard of before? And he just went away. Harlan Crow, if you don't remember, is one of the guys that's accused of paying off Supreme Court justices, billionaire out of Texas, has money from oil, because fucking every billionaire has. And he had collects Nazi memorabilia. And so like, Elon Musk is a Nazi. The Nazis were extracted out of Europe at the end of World War II. A lot of them came to the United States or went to South America. Elon Musk's family, who were in Canada on his mother's side, are literally part of the Nazi party, and they moved to South Africa at the height of apartheid because that was policies they liked, aka anti-black and racist. So his little sig heel was a sig heel. He's a Nazi. Anybody who drives a Cybertruck is giving money to a Nazi. I use Twitter, but it's becoming less and less justifiable, if not beyond justifiable. He has destroyed that, made it into a Nazi playground, right? Unfortunately, social media companies are in kind of the same boat. So we're kind of damned if we do, damned if we don't. But we can come up with solutions as people. So keep the faith, keep hope alive, just keep doing what you can do. Don't give in despair. Don't comply in advance. That's what they want. So anybody, if say you were our federal contractor, I would say quit your job normally, but at least make it fucking hard for these people. Don't just walk out, don't just take their severance. Normally I think historically I would have said the otherwise. Why the fuck are you working for this? Brain drain that motherfucker. Let's bring your skills somewhere else that can help the community and help people. But right now you should definitely be fucking with these oligarchs that are trying to gut institutions and privatize everything, because that's really the end game. They want to privatize everything. And most of this country is privatized, but there's a few things left that they want to get their hands on. Medicare, fucking Social Security, any sort of government services. They want to privatize. They want to make money. They want to fucking company towns again. They want to build these little technical feudal lords, technocratic freaks, whether it's Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, the list goes on, Mark Zuckerberg, even to Mark Cuban. There's no good billionaire. They're all bad motherfuckers. And we're being inundated. Love your police. They're your heroes. They're not. Nobody's a hero. We're all just part of the society that are trying to work together. And this is a lot of division, and it's historically always been the case. So you have to start breaking down your preconceived notions. You have to start questioning, why is this on my screen? You have to start looking into what media literacy is. And it's hard, and we're going to be wrong. You're going to be wrong. You're going to make mistakes. But how do you deal with mistakes? How do you deal with mischaracterization? How do you deal with misunderstanding? Do you double down and stand your ground, or do you try to understand and break it down? And then when you find out at the core of it, it's some Nazi shit, which a lot of our what we consider quote unquote common sense. I've been seeing Trump say that a lot. He keeps saying people like me because I do common sense. Common sense is his dog whistle for saying I'm going to do some racist ass shit because it's common sense. Common sense doesn't exist. It's not a thing. It's something fucking assholes say because they can't accurately describe what's going on and they just want to fucking throw a hammer through everything. That's what common sense means. It's a dog whistle for a bunch of assholes. Well, the weed out. I just want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for letting me try to connect some dots I see in the world. And remember, help your neighbors. If you can, you got a free moment, go chop some ice, help them out, help your elderly neighbor get their groceries out of their car. That's how we make a stronger, better community. Okay. And remember, there are local elections. So if you want to help, there's a million ways to help. There's a million ways to push these politicians while they're asking for votes to push their policies in a direction that's good for all. And good for all generally means fuck the billionaires, fuck the rich people in your town. All right, fuck them. They don't deserve more because they quote unquote hoard more. They're not special. They're lazy. They're parasites. So when you hear landlords bitching, laugh at them. You know, so do what you can. Keep weeding out the bullshit. All right. And feel free to always contact us at theweedout@gmail.com or on all the social medias. You can always DM us. And you can also go to our website, www.theweedout.com. And as always, keep weeding out the bullshit.